Welcome everyone to the 189th weekly MLP school, MLP Drawing School, not MLP school. We don't teach you how to
You
pony. We
only
teach you just how
teach
to draw a pony
you only teach drawing, not maths.
or English. Apparently,
Yeah,
Apes.
sometimes old ponish.
sometimes a little ponish. Is that like Elvish, but with a lot more whinnying?
Yes.
Anywho, welcome to the
Hello.
189th weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. Today, as always, we got the ever lovely Ellie Claw.
Hi, hopefully I say hello.
We heard it. We got Fluffy's Eye, too.
Hello, and those lovely sweet tones you've come to know and love is the always undead living dead.
A brains. As always, feel free to submit art and throw it at our faces. The better it embeds, the more likely we are to critique it. Which is to say, I'm undead, so most things stick to me. Yeah, we can do non-MLP art. Our specialty is just in the small horses, though.
Yeah, that's what we are the most efficient at.
Small horses. All right, let's start this one off with small horse.
We've also got a convenient stream link in the Discord chat for anyone who wants to join.
Yeah. So let's start this off with too many OCs. This is the top left-hand corner. I assume every picture he draws, or they draw, is just a new OC.
Just infinite OCs.
Exactly. Almost too many of them. Tried a few new things. Critique.
I mean, I can see where you've done some experimenting. It's very interesting. I think one of the things that jumps out to me the most, this top left one here, is the you've got a lot of like softs and then sharps, which just sort of contrast with each other. You've got this. I don't know if that's actually like it's like a two-faced thing going on, or if this is a shadow, but that's like because you got these soft shadows here. So I think that's just part of the coloring, right? Because you've also got this like eye thing. That's totally fine. But when you got these like really soft, like it's not just the shadows, but like the whole way you've built this image is suggesting that this is a very soft painterly style. And then you got these completely sharp, rigid lines. My pen has disappeared. They that contrasts a bit. Oh, LD deleted the layer or something. That's why. It contrasts a lot with going between these two complete extremes, if that makes any sense. So I mean, just you can there are ways that you can blend that. I think I would personally tone down some of the softs a bit. Like you can bring out some of the edges a bit. Actually, if I just do this with actual colors, that might be helpful. Do some actual painting. Yeah. Try and expand how bring out how some of the edges hit, especially on the mouth here. I feel like the mouth has just been lost and the body is just like blended together into one mess. So I think make sure you actually give them a mouth. Otherwise, how will they eat cookies and muffins?
These are the questions that have haunted me. How would I eat cookies without a mouth?
Yeah. And so I wonder if I have a soft brush somewhere. But you can do a there we go. Something like that. You can blend them a little bit. That's way too much. Come on. What are you doing?
What am I doing, or what are you doing?
No, this program. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to do like a little bit of blending, but not much. Just to like, just to sort of help the softs and sharps feel like they're in place, but not too much. I'm probably doing it a bit too much, but I'm not used to these tools. Just to try and sort of make it look a little bit less jarring to the eye. If that makes sense. Okay, here we go. That's not 100% exactly rigid, but it's also showing that sort of like that it is a color and not part of the shadow. Because there is a difference between the soft and the hard here, but just less of a difference. What you doing with that Fluttershy?
I'm just reducing the fluff a bit. I know this is crazy, but hear me out here. The chest popped forward a lot, like how far forward you had it is very awkward for an MLP shape, mostly because how the shoulders attach or the arms attach is towards the front of that chest. So how far you had it out made it actually further back or like the arm attachment point further back than you would expect to see it even in some of the most extreme cases. So I've just thinned out the chest a little bit, smoothed that out, give it some more of that bean shape, and then I've reduced the fluff. That fluff was one mighty piece of fluff, because that's the sort of muddy texture you've left with. So I've just given it a lighter flicking to it. If your goal is to actually have chest fluff there and still keep it the painterly, you're going to have to increase the fidelity going on here, because there's no way you're going to get any decent shape or texture out of it if you're as loose on your shaping with your shading and highlighting as you are here. That's just my 2 cents in there. If you can pull it off, cool. I don't know how you did it, and I want to see, but my suggestion would be continue refining your shading and highlighting a bit more just to pull out some of that texture.
Yeah. It sounds like we're kind of a consensus on that. That looks like something to do moving forward, and we can see your art in the future and see how that's going.
Horse.
I don't have anything else though. I quite like the expression. Your eye shape's very nice.
All right. I see we have Spellbound Canvas here. You submitted a picture this week, yesterday, today, at some point 1 hour ago. Okay, you submitted a picture 1 hour ago, Spellbound Canvas. I think last time we asked you for the next picture you're submitting if you could ask us if you could have any generalized questions about your picture, because we aren't quite sure how to proceed on yours. It seems that most of our critique doesn't appear, which is fine, because we are only right maybe 1% of the time. But it might be more effective if we actually just answer your questions on this one. So what questions do you have on your picture in particular, Spellbound? I'll just bring it up here. One moment. While I wait for Spellbound Canvas, there is a Aggie going on. Woo! Aggie! Don't know what an Aggie is? It's like a group drawing canvas. In fact, it's not like a group drawing canvas. It is a group drawing canvas. Everyone gets a layer. You get a layer. You get a layer. You get a layer. Everyone draws together. It's great fun. You make some hilarious things. Wondering what they look like? Go hop on Derpy Brew and look for what is the name of it? It's something like Draw Pile Disasters and Eggy Adventures, something like that. So take that link that Artemis Plum has sent us, and feel free to join in on this silly drawing time.
I've never heard of the Aggie train one until recently. I've only ever used the Draw Pile Disasters myself.
Yeah.
That was the classic one that we always used, as far as I remember.
Someone started tagging them a little differently, which is fine, because we're no longer using Draw Pile for it.
Yeah.
I just need to edit this picture down because it's huge.
Huge.
But ponies in the sky with diamonds. You gotta be careful. Don't want the Beatles suing you for that one. I think someone's just graffitiing on it. I don't know. Yeah, if you could avoid just writing a big I don't know on it, that'd be appreciated. You're looking to collaborate, not eviscerate.
I know it's sort of nerve-wracking sometimes and wanting to be like, look, I'm not perfect. I don't know what I'm doing exactly. It was just a thing I did. But like, yeah. So,
Just remember, you can always blame Aggie for any shortcomings. We do. All right, so you had the hind legs of AJ and RD look off. What about you? I'd say they look So you've done this pose before. You've done this pose quite a bit. Let's hop back through your gallery here. You should really reduce the amount of information you have on your thing, because that identifies you as a person. You don't want to do that. You feel like you screwed up. I think it's because you screwed up. Not to be mean. I'm just going to be brutal here. You've done the same error quite a few times with how you place them. Basically, you're drawing them as though they are very short and like they're foals or chibis. When you do your chibis, it makes perfect sense to do that. Your chibis are freakishly adorable buttons of horses. It makes a lot of sense to do those very beanie, short, jelly-like appendages. In this case, you've drawn them full-sized. So now we have our full-size horses with half-size legs. And the legs are a solid beam in your case when they actually have a joint in them. So let's work out how they're sitting. Right now, you have placed all your weight on the bottom part of the bone on the hip. This doesn't really make sense. So we have a horse butt. Horse butt goes down, hips sit here. They're little teardrop things. You've placed all the weight down at the bottom of this joint, here and here. That's gotta hurt. Think of you sitting down on the ground and trying to place all the weight on just one section of your pelvis, like just a single point on it. She's not gonna appreciate it. If they're gonna be sitting down, they're gonna be putting more weight onto their actual butt rather than their legs. So let's try and force the weight down there. And I think the easiest way to do this, which they do in the show, is they either bring the leg back, like they bring both the legs back, so they're in a crouched position. Let me see if I have a quick picture of that. Of course I don't. Not offhand. Da-da-da-da-da. We get a hip. No. Do I want to draw? So if we get a body going, we got our hips, and if they're sitting, they're going to be sitting. Why am I not picturing this? This is annoying. References.
It's not an easy pose. It's not a natural pose or anything.
The worst part is I've done it a lot. I've done the sitting on their butt a lot. Because it's adorable. There. Look, we'll use RD as an example. Here's a link. It's the greatest Google link ever. Because...
It's like a monologue.
God damn it, I hate... Well, it was Instagram? Yeah, Instagram's fault. Or was it Pinterest?
Ugh, Pinterest.
One of them basically made Google remove the hot linking of every image on the internet. And they destroyed looking and sharing images.
That's so annoying.
All right, so we're gonna harvest this RD here. We got a horse sitting, and the best part is this is right from the show. I know this is a picture and it's been clipped and stuff. This picture was definitely just taken right from the show and lined over.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see, oh my gosh, I cannot draw like that. I'm just going to copy this. We're going to see if I can hammer it on here. Where did my pen go?
That'd be helpful. Just to have it as a visual reference for the stream.
Bam. Look, there's a horse on here now. A horse with butts on his head. Her head.
Wow, you drew that RD real fast.
I am very skilled. All right. So we're gonna outline this for you then, because using references is magic. We got we got the front, we got the butt, and their hip is going, yo, son, and all their weight has now been shifted backwards. Right? So they got legs hanging out. And it's been shifted off that point on the back and moved down into a more natural seated position. Their butt is still not truly touching the ground, but it's taken the weight off of that joint and shifted it to a more natural one.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the way that she's sitting in this, she's got her weight spread between her hind legs and front legs, which are obviously, like, seated, like, standing position on the ground. And I get yours have them up, so she will be then unbalanced and sort of prone to falling forward with all of the weight placed on her back legs then. That's because this, as we're seeing in the reference, is the natural way for ponies to sit. And for them to lift both hooves, they could probably do that for, like, a few seconds, but then have to, like, sit back down again. And they can lean back, but it's just like not a natural position for their body to be sitting in. So the sitting positions you have are more like human style than designed for pony anatomy.
And if you still want the feet like sticking up in the air and all the weight moved backwards, then we can take the hips, we flare them out, and we give the bottom of the hock. We can decide if we're going to turn the ankle sideways, like yo. We get a little bottom hoof action here. Or we can turn the hoof sticking all the way up. And we get all the bottom hoof action there. And now the weight shifted all the way onto the bottom. And their legs are just sort of there. Both are very easy poses to use. And they give a bit more life to the image because you can play with how their legs are sticking around. Because right now, your RD and AJ legs are identical. Your Twilight is basically the RD and AJ ones with their hooves slightly turned down. Yeah. I hope that helps. Does it? I'm not sure. I feel like we might have rambled a bit. What about Fluttershy? Fluttershy is the same idea. Take the second image the second one that I drew, with the legs sticking up there, rolling it more onto the hip, like onto the butt, and moving the legs out forward will help give her a more balanced pose where it doesn't look like she's somehow hovering between or completely balanced on just this point here.
Yeah.
Pinkie Pie is fine. Like that is an actually normal pose for Pinkie Pie.
So small detail. I feel like we've got like the like spotlights. It's clear to me that you drew the characters and then put the spotlights on because they're not evenly spaced. And like rainbows and RDs are like rainbows and Twilights are slightly touching. Rainbows and Applejack's even more touching. There's like a huge gap between Rarity and Flutters because like why would the lights be placed so like arbitrarily? Like they would be symmetrical. This is a like manual. This is a construction thing. Whenever something is like man-made like this, or I guess pony-made in this case, it would be like by measurements. You know, everything will be even and symmetrical and ordered. So it wouldn't make much sense to have these spotlights placed like that. So I feel like you drew the characters and sort of spaced them as they naturally feel like they should be, and then put the spotlights on them. But that maybe it should have been sort of considering the construction and composition of the image first, and where the character is going to be placed and why, and creating those guidelines first could have been a good thing. And it's just a small detail. It doesn't like it was the 50th thing I see like looking at the image for like 10 minutes. You know, it's not going to be something that you see as soon as you click on the image, but it's just like a small composition thing. Yeah, I guess they could be adjustable. But I'm trying to think of how that works to have them like move to such like I think like why would they need to? You know, I feel like if they're put into a lineup like this, it'd be more okay. You stand exactly here. Less okay. Let's like move the lights to fit where they're standing. You know, that's a lot more work than just like moving the inmate a inch to the left. You know.
If they're movable, you know Pinkie Pie is going to be screwing with them too.
Yeah. Like it's an acceptable like that's not like completely illogical. That's a scientific thing that I guess can happen. It's just it's not likely, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't make that much logical sense. And like I said, it's just a small thing, but just something that I noticed. And it sort of speaks to sort of how you plan images when you look at people's art, and just a small thing like that can sort of show how the thought process went, and it's a good thing to keep in mind in terms of planning for future images. I'm not saying you move everything now, but it is something that you can consider just for if you have an idea like this in the future. My web browser has gone dark.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah.
Unless we got any other questions there for our spell. No, you're out of here? All right. Just a heads up, you should definitely be critiquing on our subreddit. You post there quite often. You do make good art. You should have no problem critiquing on the subreddit. It'll give you a chance to stretch your analytical muscles. And those analytical muscles will happily apply back to your own art. Because you go, what is wrong with this picture? And how can I help this person help their picture? And you talk it through and have a great time like we are. And then you're like, bam, I learned something. They learned something. It was great. This is why you should critique.
And I'll hope they receive that message if they watch this video back later.
They bailed before I told them that, didn't they?
They're already not in the user list.
God damn it.
But it goes to everyone, so it's an important message.
Critique. Do it. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah.
We need more critiquing happening.
We are gonna go and no, we're gonna in the art channel. One sec. I'm doing horrible things here, guys. One moment. Hop in the Aggie. Woo!
LD's doing the type of time in the art channel.
Totally advertising.
Yeah, get those drawers in the Aggie.
And to the horse people here, we need someone else for the collab. No one else is lined up right now, and I don't have the sheet that tells me everyone, because that is part of Stranger's portfolio. So if anyone else is, able to draw within the next 3 days, throw me a PM and I'll send you the collab where it is now.
I'd go again, but I already went.
Alright, so this next picture is by someone who does things.
We like people who do things, especially critiquing on the subreddit and drawing on the Aggie.
You. Lions! Assuming the light is coming directly from above, is toning acceptable? Thanks. I don't think toning's the right word you want, but I'm gonna assume the highlighting and shading. is what you're talking about. Does that make sense?
I would think that's probably what they mean.
It's directly above. They're inside of a large area. It appears outside. They've lost a bit of their body. That's not the focus anyway. We're just playing with shading. Directly above, it's okay. There's a little bit of improvement that can be done. Oh my gosh. My tablet just wrong? Oh, no, okay. It's just very washed out. You don't need to wash out the colors to try and highlight. Fluttershy is a yellow horse. And I'm pretty sure you've realized this at this point because you've colored her yellow. But one of the evil things with yellow is actually trying to get those highlights to stick. Don't quite worry about the highlights in the case of a very bright horse like Fluttershy. Go with the shading. Use the shading to fake highlights. What I mean by that is somewhat like Fluttershy is doing without going towards the blacks as much, I would say. And build up the shadow depth, the darkness under them. It's not going to be much because you're outside. There's a whole lot of reflected light that hangs around the earth. You get this wonderful, not very sharp shadow that drops on everything. I know the sun is amazingly bright, but it still doesn't drop a harsh shadow. It's quite gentle shadow as far as things like a horse goes. Yeah, words. They make sense. So yeah, don't worry about harsh shadows. They're going to be softer.
My computer's dying if I disappear.
Okay.
On the way I go.
So what I would do with this one is I think I would just build up for the fourth or fifth time running over this one. I think I'd just build up the shadows a bit more and leave the highlighting where it is. Maybe tone back a little bit on the highlighting around the side of the ear over here, because there's no real reason why her ear would be catching that area if it's directly above. Yeah, but beyond that, great. Good job. We all like the yellow horse. I'm going to move on to the next one. Fluffy's run off into breaking computer land. So the next picture is by Calm Pony, and it's called I Missed Her. Yep, that is it. Those lines are bold. Kind of fun. Really like this swoosh on the hair over here. And over here. Your folds are great. I like the approach of the ears. They're different. They work well. Seem to fit your overall style well. I think I would, yeah. How about not use red on the red horse? Gosh, come on, tablets. There we go. Alright, so if we draw our happy little circle, put in, oh no, we put in the cross on our face. Falling apart here. There we go. We are going to draw the horn here. I'm going to split it. Line goes back. 45 degrees. Horn.
Sorry, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
My everything on my computer just completely ground to a halt. I was trying to do a thing with like building up the shadows a little bit at a time, making them darker and darker with the Fluttershy to speak and talk about like the harsh light creating harsh shadows, but I didn't get a chance.
If it helps, I said shadows about 48 times.
specifically about like how like harsh light, and then it's like, oh, now the shadows are stark and stuff. But you probably did. You talk about that a lot.
Yeah, I said things about things.
Okay, cool.
If it helps, I'll put the
Darn
YouTube video up online. So I'm on to the twilight, or the sunset shimmer.
Sweet, thank you.
Your muzzle design is interesting, and I want to stick with it
Sunset
because
shimmer?
it works. Sorry? I heard a voice.
Hi, Daddy.
I heard sunset shimmer.
Yes, there's a bacon main.
You've been summoned.
I think on the bacon main, I would just move the nose holes over because one has just sort of gone off for a journey on her face. Based on where you've positioned the other one, it does appear as though your style still says they should be out front. So I've just moved them on back centered. And I would just recenter the horn a little bit. Horns are difficult. This is the only way I've got a consistent horn ever going, is by drawing the cross, bisecting the head both horizontally and vertically, and then going from the center point of the head on a 45-degree angle out to freedom. Only way I've ever pulled it off consistently from other angles.
I have no pressure curve.
Allie, are you in the Aggie? Are you just hiding there? It's very quiet in here. Is anyone out there?
I am.
Hello.
Why are we in space? Or wherever we are.
This is Major Som to ground control. Allie is currently murdering people, or possibly just cleaning up after the murder.
To explain, she's been having some internet connection issues today and couldn't get her mic to be working consistently and keeps dropping, so she's hiding in the background.
We'll just phone her.
Yeah, I mean I could, but it would probably kill my data.
I get unlimited American calling. We'll just use that.
Just get Ali on the phone. MLPDS first call in.
No, we've done one at a convention before.
All right. Okay.
It's because we didn't say it 3 times into the mirror, Allie. All right, you done there, Fluff?
Yes.
You gonna talk about your adjustments?
Oh, I was just providing like a different alternative look at constructing the face. It's not very good though.
Okay.
I was trying. We like to sort of introduce different ways that you can go about construction. It's just a little bit hard when it's all like on top of an existing drawing with other lines around. But it's always worth experimenting with different styles and trying different shapes.
All right, let's move on then. Bye-bye, sunset. Sunset. Yes. We're going to move on to this horse.
I can't see what that means.
It's the one with the rarity backtail.
Uh-huh. I was just looking at this one.
This is by Firely Fly, in the most like elvish way of writing something. I haven't drawn in years, but I'm trying a new style. Any critique? Lol. You haven't drawn in years? Dang. It's looking good.
I feel like you have a really, really interesting cartoony style. It's very nice.
You got some interesting critique from Lyco 9011. You should definitely take a peek and read their stuff and upvote them because they've been nice enough to provide critique for you. Least you can do is click that little happy arrow. Haven't drawn in years. Yeah.
What could that mean? They're so good.
They've actually just created this account, apparently. Last year. Cake Day is June 26th. So
I love your lines, and I love that you've got like the shoulders going on, because I love doing this as well. And you don't see you got some lovely like frontal leg anatomy going on here, which you don't see very often. Even like the neck seam, so good. I do feel like the back legs are much more like soft and familiar to the show style compared to the front legs, but I'm not sure like what I would do to change that really. Maybe for one thing, I feel like this leg like overlaps, this muscle overlaps a little bit too much maybe. Yeah, you got some super lovely shapes going on.
The one thing I'm seeing though is you've done side muzzle on a 3/4. You don't have to draw 3D. By all means, don't if you don't want to. The easiest way to bring this back to sort of not side muzzle is just moving the nostrils over and slightly straightening out the mouth and letting it curve back. The easiest way I find with trying to translate the 3D back to the 2D to continue with the style you've done is I still draw the box on and then I just do the outline on the far side. So much like you've done with your muzzle already, I've just used that framework of a box to bring it back to that and make sure everything's pointed where it should be.
Yeah, if you find that construction lines and building everything up with shapes helps, that's definitely a good thing to do, doing the sort of box muzzle. There are different ways to do it, and if you find that doing everything with manual construction is a little bit too hard for you to deal with, I don't know what sort of is in your usual process. You don't necessarily have to build everything up with shapes, but it's worth trying different techniques. Maybe you can find a different way of building up an image that you've so it's hard to find the right color here, that you hadn't tried before, but you've discovered actually really works for you or something. I know I've thought about, I'm going to try a different way of sketching or a different way of lining or a different way of just constructing the image altogether, and found something that I really like, and other times not so much. And I don't like using the box muzzle myself because I don't really like the muzzle sort of being pointed downwards like an actual horse. I like the sort of more perky up style that the show goes for, because they have the noses sort of, the bridge does a steep like upturn to the cute little boopy snoot. So I try to accentuate that myself. But it's up to you what sort of style you want to go for. If you want to go for a more pointy nose like you had originally, you can do that. Sort of a bit more pointed out like this.
Considering the pointiness of their other areas, I think the pointed nose makes a lot of sense for their style.
Yeah, and so you can try and sort of make the nostrils a little bit closer like this to sort of accentuate. Yeah, the nose is coming to a point there. But it is difficult sometimes getting things into like 3D space when we're working with 2D. Like everything is just lines working around one another. But it's definitely something to look forward to, because once you can get 3D space working for you, it works super well. And it isn't as daunting as it seems at the beginning. It just takes a little bit of like practicing and referencing other images, how other artists have built it up, how other like mediums and shows and stuff have built it up. and looking at real life images, of course, as well, if that helps. And you get the hang of that.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Let's do that.
Oh, almost sneezed right into a mic. That would have been great Foley work. Hey, Allie, is it working for you?
Can y'all hear me now?
We
Yeah.
can.
Oh my god, I can't believe that's the issue.
What was this you uninstalled?
I got Vegas Pro from a Humble Bundle. I promise I'll make this a short story. I got Vegas Pro from a Humble Bundle like a year or two ago to have an easy video editor program if I ever wanted to do time lapses or speed paints or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it came with a free music program as well, or the whole bundle included a music maker program from a company called Magic X. So I downloaded that too since it was part of the install. I'm like, oh cool, I can edit, songs or whatever. And that came with an update notifier for the program. So I installed all of those, and like in my head, the reason why I'm talking about these programs is like that's when all my problems with the internet started. So I uninstalled the updater and the music program, and now I can talk to you people, and I don't know why these programs are fucking with the internet so bad.
And I want to let you know something. We heard that entire story with no interruptions. Yay!
What the fuck? Germans. It's a German program.
That was our one
Green sheet
F-bomb per stream.
Yes.
One and a whisper.
Listen, I deserved it. I don't know why a program such as that. Fuck.
Listen,
Sorry.
you can't anger
Allie?
our resident lion.
You better have that video editing software still installed, because you're editing out the second half word.
God damn it. YouTube's
No,
coming for us.
come on!
Listen, it's okay. It's just not in the first minute, apparently.
It's fine. The censors have already fallen asleep.
Well, no, they've just
Bored them.
banned everyone. Everyone's just banned.
YouTube will just purge itself. There we go. Start again.
All right, we got our next picture
We got our
in line
friend
here.
back.
It is by Supermarine Spitfire. Happy belated... No, wait. Is this the right one? One sec. Am I going crazy? No, this is the wrong one. Don't listen to me.
The sunset on the Spitfire, isn't it?
No, this one's by someone else. I'm looking at the picture right next to it. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
because I see the signature with the word Spitfire in it and the picture underneath. So I think that one's theirs.
Yes,
Unless
this
I'm
is
mistaken.
Pufindi.
This one I immediately caught my eye. I love this one. It's so soft and pretty.
Painting practice. I just wanted to try painting. I'm trying to improve with painting and drawing ponies. I think you're doing great on both of those things. Your horses look very horse-like. And your ponies look very pony-like, and your paintings look very painting-like. So you're doing great here. I was actually just reading a debate that some people were having on Tumblr, of all places. People having a debate on Tumblr is a weird thing, right? No,
That never happens.
especially about gender normality as far in ponies. I know, this is crazy. Who would ever talk about that on Tumblr? I think your horse fits this wonderful medium of not being either, and it's kind of great in its execution. You have eyelashes, which in MLP, at least as far as the show goes, eyelashes... Oh my gosh, everything just crashed.
Oh no!
Thank you. No, it's fine. We're still going.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh no, I infected you.
Chrome just decided to destroy itself. Anyway, as I was saying, the eyelashes in MLP, they're often a signifier of it being female, and the muzzle is what signifies a lot of the male part. There is neither of that really slapping someone in the face here. Your character is just a character, and it's really cool in its execution. I don't know if that was your goal, but I like it. Cool. Anyhow.
Yeah, I super love the anatomy you've got going. Like, I love these styles where everything is kind of like big and round, and like you've got these lovely soft shapes all blending into one another. I moved the neck seam over a little bit. In fact, maybe the whole neck could be sort of moved over it. Like, I love the sort of curve you've got there, but just maybe bring it out, just thicken the neck a little bit. I feel like that would really, really work well with your style, just to bring that neck out a little bit, make it a little bit stronger. Just a tad. If not, it's fine. The slender neck also works well. It's just you've got this lovely sort of this theme going of sort of big well-defined shapes, and I really like that. Ooh, no, how do I select tools? There we go. I don't know what I'm doing with this little line here, just where the shading goes, I guess. Slash neck seams.
I think, yeah. I would definitely take the horn. Personally, I'm not a fan of the horn sitting on the top of the head. It does hold several great advantages of being turned up that much. They can finally hug. Ponies can hug now because they aren't stabbing each other with the horns. But unfortunately, this is the thing that unicorns have to deal with now. So we're going to move the horn down. It's just a matter of rotating it down her forehead. And now she can easily roast marshmallows without having to turn her head too far. Great advantages.
It didn't stick out to me.
That's
That's why we have different people with different artistic eyes.
Also, second ear.
I love the sparkles on the horn and the ear. Super cute.
Yeah, those little yeah.
Yeah, they're like you got like lovely star like freckles around here, and it's like, oh, you also got them in ear. That's cute. It's like speckle patterning, and on the horn, it just makes me think of like having like really glittery horns, and I'm totally gonna use that now.
Carries over into the mane too.
Yeah,
The speckling?
I was just noticing that.
And oh man, the way you've done the braid, you've done it simply,
Oh,
but
so
you've easily shown that yes, this is a braided mane.
I'm
And braided
so
manes
bad
are
at doing
adorable.
braids.
We're just
They're
gushing
adorable,
over this
so-
thing. It's fine.
Yeah, sometimes we get an image where it's like no critique. We love it.
It's just really soft and cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just good. I want your art to be my friend.
it would make an excellent icon for something like Discord or
Oh yeah.
any sites like that, where it's just I need a low resolution image that will make a lot of sense without being highly detailed. This would fit that to a T.
Yeah. It's just nice to look at. It also make good badges, I think.
Yeah, or button. Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant.
What?
Oh, okay.
But
On to the next one.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
As a reminder for all y'all here who are here, we got an Aggie going on. Oh my gosh! Of course, everything crashed. We got an Aggie going on. Let's reload it.
I did invite us.
Ponies in the skies with diamond. It's just a lot of diamond horses. We got a diamond horse, a diamond tiara.
There's got to be Raritator in there.
Good old Veritato.
A diamond
she
tiara.
Is a part of diamond.
Alicorn.
We haven't had like the Raritators appearing in the Aggies. It's a sin.
Cupid's case.
TPC.
She's
Come
not
back
in
to
the
us.
chat.
I know. We're just calling out to the heavens. We'll keep it
You
pissed.
you don't call out to the heavens for her. You find the fluffiest object around you and you talk to it.
Oh, that's okay. I've got a fluffy pencil here, like yesterday. There's like a big fluff ball on the end.
That does sound like the proper microphone.
It's the fluff 1.2.0.
Alright, so let's do the next picture. This is by Lizard Paws, and it's haven't drawn in a LONG time! Exclamation mark. Any critiques?
Is this the orange and black pony?
This is the orange and black pony. The one that looks like it's done in Copic. It's really cool. And they got...
Yeah, lovely sort of marker style going on.
Nice and
I love those wings.
I'm going to call out
Look at the
some
shape.
horrible critique. Not a critique,
Oh, I
but you
feel
didn't do
like-
2 full pages. What is that? I don't understand this comment.
What?
Wait, what?
It's the only thing that is written to them on the post is not a critique, but you haven't drawn 2 pages. I don't understand.
That's maybe they know them. Maybe they know each other. It could just be that.
It
Yeah, it
looks
could be
like
like
this
a
person's
context we don't
as
understand.
confused. They respond with, yeah?
Yeah.
Like,
Never mind then.
I think what this means is we want more art from you, so can you draw more pictures? Preferably of
Yes.
horses. But I mean, not horses is fine too.
Yes. Art is good.
Yeah. I was gonna say your wing is moved very far up, but I think it's just because we don't see where the top connection is. And it just, like, sort of rolls into Neverland across the back.
Yeah, I'm sort of working on the joint because it was very close to the shoulder. You want to be careful of that. Also, this, looking at the shoulder now, this is something I see a lot. If you curve the shoulder too far over, it looks a bit weird to me. Just looking at like leg anatomy, it should be sort of, that's not a good color.
Actually, look at the front of the chest, too. The chest line goes down here, and then reappears over here.
Down a bit. Yeah, these are all like little things that are very easy to miss, very easy mistakes. So, like, yeah, this is actually a much more extreme missed chest tangent. Sometimes things need to have a tangent because it actually denotes when something is the same object. I see this happening quite a bit, and it's easy to miss, and I've done it. But there you go. Let's bring that chest out to show that it is one object, unless your chest actually does this, which doesn't look like they have very healthy lungs if that's the case. Just redraw that skeletal stuff for you there.
I feel like I've seen this pony before. Their DeviantArt has nothing on it. Their Reddit history has nothing, but I feel like I've seen this pony before. Have you posted on our subreddit under a different name or just possibly deleted everything in the past? I'm interested in this one. Please, tell us. The assignment was at least 2 pages? Who gave them an assignment? Maze? Fill us in on these details. I don't remember anything. I'm so confused.
Have we just forgotten?
Maybe. The MLP Drawing School. We gave them an assignment?
We are great at remembering things that we have said in the past.
Like, I don't think this person's ever posted before because they have a total of 33 karma, and this post has generated them 33 karma. So that if they have, they've posted under a different name. Anyway, we're all sorts of confused. Can you please sort us out here? As far as your horse goes, second wing, you've done the second ear. The second ear is cool. I think I would actually move it back, just because your head's basically 90 degrees to the, like, profile to our thing. So the fact the ears moved forward the way it is doesn't make sense, especially with the shape, like bunny hybrid ears. So you have horse-like ears, which come off the side, like yours, and then you've gone bunny, which is sort of very adorable, and unique and cool. Makes sense. But I would just move that second ear back. I would make sure we can see a bit of the second wing hanging around here, even if it's just profile sort of sticking out between the other feathers. Definitely include something like that. And we should take the tail. When you're doing the rump-a-dum-dum here, we follow along that spine up to the base of the head. And this line here, I'll go to a darker color. This line here is actually their spine, and that's where their tail spawns from. So we just want to move that tail up a bit, and it stops it from giving the impression of the pony pooping out their tail.
Which is a term we commonly refer to as poop tail.
Yeah. Which I imagine is something that, you know what, never mind.
An actual affliction.
Yeah.
I've just sort of looked at the anatomy of the back legs a little bit. Took me a few tries to adjust it, which just shows you that it's absolutely fine if you don't get something right away. But I was thinking the front legs are a lot smaller than the back legs in the original picture, which is something that I noticed quite quickly. So as well as just as giving the legs more of a natural horse, like an MLP like pose, which you can see with this kind of hard to see red under sketch there. the as well as doing that, I just like balance the size of the legs, making the front ones a little bit bigger and the back ones a fair bit smaller, just to try and give them a bit more of a consistent appearance. Otherwise, these because if you just look at the legs, like the back legs already are stretched as they're gonna get. There's no straightening those legs anymore. That it would not be a comfortable position. If you were to imagine the front legs stretching out, they would not be as big and long, and the hooves they look a little bit smaller from here. So it feels like they would just be like falling forward. If you imagine a pony with just like really huge back legs and really small front legs, it would not be comfortable for them. There we go, just a little bit more balancing.
Yeah.
And I moved the wing joint a little bit further back, moved the shoulder a little bit down, and just sort of gave the wing a bit more of an arc and a bit more of a balancing to the direction and size of the feathers to give this sort of nice round shape here. But otherwise, yeah, I super love a lot of the ideas you're going for here. And obviously this is like a traditional piece that you've drawn with inks and markers. We don't expect you to suddenly like somehow erase everything and change everything. This is more just like knowledge for the future, if that makes sense. Because this is super good. You did a super good job with like your marker colorings. It's very pretty.
Okay. Move on to the next one.
Sure.
Oh, that's a white border. We have actually our last one.
One more.
Yeah.
And it is by Superman Spitfire.
This is the one I was talking about earlier that I mistaked. This is, as Fluffy said, Supermarine Spitfire. Happy belated Sunset Summer Day. Sunset Shimmer Day, not summer. This is my first time drawing Sunset Shimmer. How did I do?
Pretty good. I mean, I struggle a lot with her mane. There's definitely some things to look at here. I feel like this part of the mane like shoots out a little bit too much. I would need to get a reference for her up here, which maybe Ali will throw at our faces. I don't know.
Which
um,
sunset shimmer are we doing?
Bottom left
pony,
hand.
the
Bottom
pony,
left. Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm still catching up.
um, and there's a few little sort of anatomical and construction things to look at here, and that's absolutely fine because I think there's nothing that's like, oh my god, you've done this totally wrong. I think you're doing a super good job here, and I think there's a super happy face, and it makes me feel happy. It's just a little bit of a matter of learning the shapes. Like this horn has a bit of a sausage shape going on. You want to make sure it's a nice green cone. Just little things like that.
I think. So I see that you're going over your works with pens. So I think you should take advantage of your pencils a bit more. See, the thing with hair, yes, ponies tends to have like the show style tends to do really blocky shapes, and they're very flat and they're very, they're shapes. You can pretty much cut them into shapes. But for hair, I think let yourself have some fun with that pencil and do strokes, like simulate the swish. Get that like, okay, she has weird, okay, then it curls, then it goes that way, and then find that flow and use that to create the hair. And then you'll get those really nice, curves.
Yeah.
You want good, lovely,
Yeah. Every
sweetly
medium works
curly.
differently, and you've got some advantages you can be taken care of there.
And don't
Things that
worry if you see like where the pink is. If you see pencil marks where, all over the face and whatnot, that's fine. Once you line it, you can roll an eraser over it, or I suggest a kneaded eraser if you haven't got one of those yet. They're not that expensive and they're better than any kind of other eraser you can get. And there's this really
Ooh.
cool technique where you roll your kneaded eraser and kind of to a log, and you just roll that log over top of your drawing, and it picks up that like extra lead without, all the damaging of super rubbing hard into stuff can sometimes do. But it really only works best if you don't press down too hard. But
That sounds great.
back to the hair thing, yeah, like some of these more swooshy ponies, like Rarity and Sunset, and anyone who has like weird twirly, whirly, curly hair, don't be afraid to like simulate it with a line and figure it out that way. So she has this weird like fold here, and it's like, okay, we got like a strip of bacon coming out her head. It's just find that flow. Let the curves go. Be like, woo, woo. turns, and then you're like, oh, then the bottom needs to happen. Okay. Woo, woo. Just woo. Woo as you swoosh, 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 woo. You know, it helps to talk to yourself as you draw.
I'm not seeing your whoops and swooshes.
Oh god.
I'm seeing all
Uh,
the yellow.
Oh, the
The pig.
yellow, the yellow on the body.
Yeah.
That was me.
Oh.
Oh.
Was Ali
Hey,
drawing on the main?
Ellie, you
Yeah, it
might.
was drawn in pink. I need to reconnect.
Yo.
Oh no!
Wonder how much she's drawn without us noticing.
Probably a
Have
lot.
you been drawing this whole time?
Maybe.
Oh no!
It's
You
fine.
haven't
It's
done
fine.
anything this whole time. I'm so sorry.
Technical difficulties,
I
therapy.
thought you were just busy in the background burying potatoes.
I'm so sorry you didn't see everything I just said, person. Super mean Spitfire. But I think we've talked about swoosh with them before, right?
Yeah.
Probably they've been here a bunch, so the chances are likely.
Yeah.
There's the ding ding.
Yay. Alright, it's got to
Oh
load now.
no! Oh no! I can't undo this line. Like it gave me an undo stage of 0.
Oh no.
I think sometimes stuff interferes with it, and it cuts off. I don't know. There we
I think
go.
it's
This is what I'm
weird.
trying to do. It seems like they're going for something more like the show style, so I'm trying to do more of the show style hooves for them here.
Alright. I'll demonstrate one more time, I think. Am I alive? Can you see the pink?
Yes, we can see you doing your swooshy ears.
Okay, wonderful. So, like I was saying, it's all about that swoosh, and give me my brush back. Okay, good. So, like, generally it's kind of like a mohawk, so you can get that line on the head, and it's like, oh, the hair's gonna come out, so I'll do a nice long swoosh there. It's like, oh wait, no, she has this little curve at the end, so you come in there, and you play with the swoosh, and that
Yeah.
gets you like way more attractive hair. And I know it's not the flatness of show style, but it's so much nicer. You get those curves, you get those, it feels like hair instead of just pieces you're kind of puzzling together. And
Oh
it
look,
looks
I just made
messy.
an S sunset. That's
And
her
yes,
logo, her superhero logo.
it absolutely is going to look messy, and that's okay as long
Yeah,
as you can understand the mess. I think that's the important. Oh no, I'm on the same layer as the ketchup and mustard.
yeah.
Mm.
Ketchup and mustard. It is. No, we got like grape sauce
Oh god.
or something. It's like syrup that you put on like ice cream or something.
The important part in being messy is understanding your mess. So be smart about your mess, but don't be afraid to make a
Yeah.
mess.
The
As
beautiful
long
part
as
about
you.
pencils is that you get to be like rough and get to try things out and experiment and swoosh. And if you start doing that and it's like a mess and it's not like if it's not like a messy sketch, but I mean if it's just like, oh, this like isn't working and I'm just constantly fixing the same thing, my page is being worn down from erasing, you can just start again and just
Mhm.
take everything you've just learned. Like starting the image again doesn't mean you're starting your brain from scratch. That's the advantage of it.
Hey, I said it the other day in our Discord. Don't be afraid to kill your babies. I know you worked on the Stralin for like 3 hours, but just because you worked on it for 3 hours, it's okay to kill it and
Yeah,
start fresh.
Pew.
you're starting the you're starting the page fresh, not the entire experience of the drawing. So
Mhm.
like when you redraw it, you're still taking all because you're learning as you're drawing, even if you don't know you are. Every single line you do, you're learning. So you're still taking that experience and knowledge, and then you're just resetting everything, and then you're applying everything fresh without the mess of everything from before. If that makes sense.
Hopefully.
But yeah, the point is just with pencils, you don't need to worry about like just doing a neat and tidy sketch and then lining it. Like let yourself do like messy sketches. You don't even have to like ink it with pens at all, really, if you don't want to. You still
Mhm.
can if you like, especially if you get some nice like fine inking pens and stuff. Because that can be a great way to like finish off a sketch. But just I think spend more time with the pencil sketching and being like loose, using nice soft shapes and just building everything up, doing your under sketching, and you'll come up with some really nice results.
Absolutely. No, I like I said, 1000% agree. I I cannot boast enough about letting yourself be messy, not trying to keep to the lines, because your line art is the clean part. Yes, you refine a sketch, but your line art is what's ultimately supposed to be the clean part. If you do
Yeah.
line art, you could still do messy stuff. You don't have to do line art. Anyway, tangent. This is the only time I got to talk all stream, so I took advantage.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We're happy to have our friend back. Yay.
But yeah, I think that's all I have.
All right, we do have another submission of a picture.
Wait.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Horse. Oh no, that's not how I open up horse.
What did you do?
I just hit open and opened an entire new
Did
window.
you open the horse portal? The portal to the horses?
Come through.
It's just
I
when
recently got to watch the Equestria Girls on a yacht mini movie thing.
Nice.
Sorry,
Found another portal.
you were on a yacht?
Equestria Girls on a yacht.
Why were you on a yacht watching Equestria Girls?
I wasn't. They were.
Why were
They
they on
were-
a yacht watching you?
That's a deeper question.
All right,
This is cute.
Steam Flash. You got any questions in particular about this horse doing a horse dance?
It's dancey dance.
Flapping her wings at us, showing off them moves.
Flippy flap.
So your goal is to have like a body turn where wings flopping behind, wings flopping in front, right? Like she's spinning?
Yeah, is she supposed to be off the ground? Like, is she in flight?
We have more questions for them than they have for us.
Gotta understand.
Yeah,
Gotta get into the
definitely. You gotta get it in your brain before LD eats it.
mind. You don't want to be eaten by LD.
Num, num,
It's just messy.
num, num, num.
Yum yum.
Num, num, num,
Sounds very
num.
good.
One wing coming forward, the other is just regular position for hovering. Yes, she's in flight.
Okay. I
Hmm.
don't know if she's spinning or dancing. I feel like this hoof here is very hard to see because we only see a tiny bit of it behind the wing, and that's okay. But it does so. I think it might help readability just to make sure that the hoof is visible, and that might mean bringing it up a bit. Like, woo, I'm doing a thing. Look at me go.
I would honestly put, unless there's a particular action she's trying to do, I would put both hooves forward.
Let me do it.
Because I'm looking at her and it's kind of like she's walking
yeah.
like a human.
That does look really cute. You can see that being a dance or a spin. That's an idea. There you go. Sometimes experimenting, you don't even know how it'll look until you do it, and then it's like, boom.
Woo.
Here come the police.
Yeah, looking at your sketch, I feel like even by pony standards, that might be breaking her arm a bit, pulling it back that far.
In fact, I have getting these too long.
Because if she is turned that way, she actually wouldn't be showing us her hoof at all, because it would kind of be at that diagonal, and her whole body would be covering it.
Actually, this leg I feel should probably, maybe, the back legs usually curve forwards, and I don't know if that's accurate. Now they go in different directions.
I guess is there a particular action you're trying to do? I know we keep asking very specific questions, but like, what was
It
your
really
goal
helps to figure it out, yeah.
for this? Is she just posing in the air? Is it just like oh, I'm looking cool in the air, posing, showing my wings at interesting angles, or is there an intent behind the way? Because if there's an intent, we'd like to help you move towards that intent.
Yeah.
But if not, we could give you ideas for how to
Yeah.
make a more exciting pose.
For example, the reason why we asked if they were on flight, or the reason we had to ask, is because this hoof here is straight flat, as if on the ground. So I think doing something that shows, okay, she's definitely not standing on the ground, that makes us realize she must be flying. You know, the readability is something that's definitely learned. You definitely have to take time to learn it, but it can be very, very helpful to
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, this is how I am going to tell people with my drawing by showing them what they're doing. My tablet's doing a really annoying thing where I have to like move it a certain degree before it even starts doing anything. Do the thing. There we go. I'm not on the Picasso, unfortunately, because my web browser decided to crash my whole computer. So you
I was
guys have to
going
relay to me.
for like her using her wings as a shield while mid hover.
A shield
Huh.
against what? She looks pretty happy. Not like she's in battle or anything. Against the wind?
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to get back into this Picasso chat.
Is she shielding something from behind her, or is something coming towards her in front of her, or to the side? I guess. So they're thinking about a better expression, like an "Okay, I'm ready for this" kind of look.
Yeah, that would be easy to do. So you can just go like, hey, things like give them a bit of a confidence. Yeah. Maybe lose the backlog for that. Yeah, the reason why we're asking so much about like what the character is doing is it really helps to have a solid idea. And it's not always that's going to happen. Sometimes it's like I really don't know the exact like thing that this character is doing. Like maybe it's not a textbook expression or pose,
Mm-hmm.
but like if you have a solid idea of what is happening and imagine like the scene, imagine what has unfolded to have this exact thing happen, like what has happened before this. Like if you imagine it as an animation, as an episode with stuff leading, like the character moving, and then they get into this position and they do this, and then boom, there's the pose. Here's what they're doing in the present, and then watching the animation continue in your head to what happens next in the future, because that really helps define what they need to be doing now, like what, like how to actually show the pose, because you need to actually figure out what that pose is. The main thing I was that
Oh no, Fluffy's broken up.
Ah, okay. I thought it was
oh
just me.
no.
I got really scared a second.
No, it's just because I was opening my web browser still, so everything on my computer decided to lag. Um, that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's about the wings and legs and whatever for the pose helps if you know exactly what that pose is, and that means defining the story of this picture, even if it's just like a simple thing like this. You're trying to show something going on there.
So the main thing was I just wanted to figure out the position of the arms and legs. I think the position's fine. It just doesn't inform the viewer what's going
Yeah,
on here. And I think that's
it's
our problem.
broken.
We see this pony doing a cool pose, but why? What's the pose they're aiming for? Is it just flail? Like that's what we're trying
Hmm.
to egg out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, like Elodie said, it wasn't like broken in any way, except for I feel like the backmost hind leg should be like a little bit longer. Maybe I've actually done it a little bit too long in this. Just looking at perspective, distancing stuff. But other ways, like there was nothing wrong with the legs and wings. other than just like I said, like the wings covering the front leg. So I actually couldn't see that there even was a front leg when I first looked at the image, and just stuff like that. Like it's hard sometimes, but figuring out how to use your lines to make an image clear is an important thing to think about, especially with a pose like this.
Ooh, I just thought of something to maybe help push the shield idea across more. She's holding her
Mhm.
wing out like a shield, but what is she protecting? Usually when you hold a shield up, it's
Yeah.
to like protect your face or, hold it up close to you to protect some vulnerable part of you. Now, obviously she's totally vulnerable because she's just a pony, but you could have wing bends going on and kind of use the like you know how you defensively put your arm up to block something? Treat the wing like that arm. There's a breakdown. I mean, practically, yeah. There's a breakdown I've seen, and I'm gonna see if I can quick find it, of comparing a wing to a human arm, and that can help you. I know show style is very simple wings, but you can still push them a little bit. You can get what you want out of them. You can make them. You control those wings. You can make them do what you want.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it.
So yeah, it also comes back to figure out what she's doing. Is she trying to hide her face with her wing, like she's bracing to be impacted by something, or is she trying to like protect something behind her, like she's being like a shield for something or some pony else? It's asking yourself these questions can like do a lot more than we can by redlining, I think, or purple lining in this case.
Ooh, I didn't find the exact thing. Like, well, it has the thing in it, but here's a whole tutorial about birds in flight. There's pictures comparing human arms to bird wings as well in there, but like this is a whole lovely little stack of information.
I just drag my thing over. It's a little bit outside the stream. There we go. Bonk. Oh, where's my thing paused again?
All right. Any more questions? Any other art for us? Otherwise, we'll be calling it a day.
That's it, I guess. Ah, there's Ali with the wing link.
It wouldn't let me post it by itself, weirdly enough.
Huh. Remember to go critique on a subreddit. Give other people your expertise.
Critique. Do it. Do it.
Yeah, I totally understand, Stream Flash. You say you just needed to talk about a bit. Yeah, talk a little bit about your picture. That's absolutely fine. Sometimes it really does help to just discuss what you're doing with someone and even just to like talk about what you've done. And sometimes you start like figuring things out a little bit more than when you were just looking at it and drawing on it. So I'm glad that we can help that. And you can always feel free to post in the subreddit or post in our Discord if you want to like share art and just talk about it, get
Yeah,
critique.
they actually have posted this in the Discord a few times.
Ooh.
And you might hate me for saying this, but if you do want to change it or correct things, start a new one. I know you've been working on this one for a few weeks now. Just push this one aside and do it completely fresh with new
Yeah.
references. Like, you can look at
Yeah.
this one, but don't draw over it again. Don't.
We always sort of try to push the finished not perfect idea, and we always appreciate seeing people do lots of new pictures and just constantly moving on to the next picture. And it doesn't mean you can't spend time trying to learn and
Absolutely.
finish a picture and get it finished by all means, but it's the difference between spending weeks and weeks on the same picture, not really learning anything or accomplishing anything. After a while, it's just you've done as much as you're going to do, and moving on to doing the next picture, because you're not going to get any further. This is one level of a video game, put it that way, and you're not going to complete the game or get very far in the game if you don't go on to the next level.
It's kind of like when you find yourself doing small tweaks, like moving a line, like a pixel to the left, or like when you find yourself doing that to make changes, they're not really changes. They're
And
like
I totally
tiny
do that
tweaks. I do it too, and like
because when you really love a picture, you just like get to that point where, like, I don't know if you've had this when I just like it be it like a drawing in a page in a sketchbook, or like a digital drawing on a canvas or something. I'll get to the point where like I've drawn it and like I don't want to move on. I just want to keep like fiddling with it because I just love it so much, and like I don't want to move on to the line art. But it's definitely worth just getting there. Because you might like it even more once you're done, and then you might like the next one even more. Yeah, you can start fresh on this one. Just take a completely new page and just like try drawing the just doing like an under sketch, trying to draw the pose again, just really thinking about what the pose is, and then come back to this one and look at it and compare them a little bit and say, okay, what have I done differently, and then like change it a little bit. Or you could just like move on and just do a different drawing entirely. Like it's up to you, and it would definitely help to start branching out.
I got a good challenge. I want you to start fresh, totally new canvas. Do not draw over any of your other sketch iterations of this, and draw 3 or 4 different drastic poses trying to do the same idea.
Oh, that's really, really good. Yeah.
Because a lot of things that you never see artists do, but I promise you they do it, is that they draw 4 or 5 iterations of the same thing in different ways.
Yes.
Sometimes drastically different ways to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
Tweaking the same pose over and over again won't let you explore
absolutely
drastic changes.
Yeah, it's definitely very helpful, and it's a good point what you just said, that you don't see people producing that because they'll only like show the finished result, but like yeah, they'll experiment. That's the part you don't see, is that everyone has to figure out what they're drawing, and that involves experimenting and trying different ideas.
Thumbnails.
Yeah, thumbnails and action lines and all that stuff.
So much we could ramble on, but
You can ramble on all the useful techniques.
Try to
one thing at a time.
Yeah, arts. Yeah.
We hope you have good luck with your pictures in the future.
Yeah.
All right. Well, seeing as we got no other horses being thrown at us, not thrown. Let's call it a day. Thank y'all for coming, and thank you for helping us out here. Remember, critique people. Just do it. Do it for us, please.
Go to the Reddit and post critiques. Like, you don't have to be an amazing artist. We're not like master artists. We're just artists who draw and also critique people. Because it helps us.
And if you don't know how to critique, in our tutorial section, we actually have tutorials on what a good critique is and what it takes to critique. And you don't even know, you don't need to be an expert, but it does help to know what to think about when you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's super helpful. It seriously can be a really big help to someone else and help you feel good about helping someone, and can actually help you improve your art as well. So everyone should go to the MLPDS subreddit and try and give people some help.
Woo!
All right. Bye.
Bye.